Robert, you know what was the funniest thing to me when you guys were doing the kayak thing down there in the front yard? Lisa was telling you to put the life jacket on. You're like,
No one understands you.
That was my favorite part of it.
It's like telling a walrus to be careful in the water. It offended me.
Dude, how did you roll a kayak?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 4 Dummies, and this time, once again, we actually have 4 dummies. This might be the new thing. We'll have to wait and see, because there's a double entendre, Jisk, and you know how I love a double entendre.
I'm with it.
We once again have just one.
Yo.
Robert D.
Hello, everybody.
Robert D, I want to let you know, and I'm going to share these screenshots, by the way. My new favorite thing is you in Transformers groups. Whenever anybody makes a post, you relate it back to a DTOF somehow.
I have to. Can I tell you something?
Sure.
My faith has been recently restored. My faith in God. My ultimate mission is to restore your faith in God. And it starts with the DTOF. That's the root. It's in the DTOF, and I don't understand why.
And we also are joined by my lovely wife, the Bookster.
Hello.
This evening, we're going to be talking
Hello.
about... And I'm ready.
Yeah. What I should say.
We recorded these back-to-back from last week. So we're going to be talking about this Toyworld Predaking that we're seeing a silhouette of. The only reason why my wife is joining us is because I told her that we were looking at this, and she started cracking all these jokes. So why don't you go ahead and say what you were thinking, Laura?
I just said, I don't know what you're going to talk about with just the silhouette of the toy. You were like, we're going to talk about how big it is. I was like, really? Okay.
That's very common. That's commonplace.
Painted too? Like, come on now. It just seems ridiculous.
Come on.
Yeah, she's been watching that deluxe channel. Who thinks this is going to scale right with Constructor?
I have a question, though, before I can answer that question. Is it being made based off of the Zeta designs or being made off of, like, when they made that dinosaur combiner?
Yeah, see, we don't know. And I'm looking at this, and I'll tell you what alerts me to problems, and that is how skinny the waist is in comparison to the hips. That, to me, suggests no parts forming.
Oh, it's just those little tiny nubs coming out of his waist.
Mm-hmm.
No. He parts forms.
You think
Come on,
so?
Don't. Yeah.
Dude, what's the...
So where's the rest of the lion?
In his back.
That tight?
Yeah.
I don't know, Mac.
What's up with the thing coming out from between his legs?
You talking about on the side?
Looks like a pipe. Like Popeye's pipe.
I think you know what that is.
What's coming out of his thigh?
It's a little horn for you. I think this is not going to scale properly with Constructor. I don't get that impression.
Well, should Predaking be larger than Constructor or smaller than Constructor?
So all of my combiners to be the same height.
Right.
I think he should be bigger.
So why do you think that? What makes you think that?
Freudian reasons.
I don't know. I just do.
So it's a common occurrence in my life.
If you look at the Sambo scale chart, right? Predaking is the exact, well, maybe the tip of his horns, like the little like crests on his helmet go over top of Devastator, but they're about the same size. I do think that if there were a combiner to be bigger than Devastator, Predaking is the one to be that.
Why?
Because he was the strongest. Like they used to say, I feel like in those little clips, those commercials.
No, you don't get to justify by saying I feel like.
In those commercials, in between, the little end caps between the commercials of the episodes of season 3, they would show Predaking and they would do like a little voiceover. The guy that would be like, in the year 2005, that guy, he would say that Predaking was the strongest of all combiners or something like that. So like I can see how he would also be the largest based on that. But according to the scale chart, they're about the same size.
So what if it was disappointingly small?
Then I'm out. Unless the robot modes are Trump, in which case I'll get them for robot mode.
I don't even know that this thing's going to come out or ever see the light of day.
That's
What's
a fair
Toyworld
point.
made that's new?
Well, they did the cup recently, right? that cup came out. That's like the one
Yeah.
third-party toy. Robert, why didn't you buy me that? That's like the one third-party toy that I didn't review this year.
Let me tell you something though about that cup. I was at Agabus's booth at TFCon, and I saw it there, and I'm like,
would you like me to pick that name up off the floor?
no. I mean, listen, I was at his booth. I saw that cup, and I was like, man, I'm gonna open up this box and see what it looked like. And I instantly just closed that box up real quietly, put it back on the shelf. You don't even want to look at it, dude. It's terrible.
I have one thing to say about that thing.
Robert.
Yeesh.
Always with the cursing. What would tempt you to buy this?
It'd have to be how it looks. Like at this point now,
if it's heavy.
it has to be just how it looks. It would have to look like Bruticus and like Devastator,
Right.
like the Zeta toys.
Do you get that impression from looking at this silhouette?
No, it looks like that dinosaur.
Yeah,
combiner.
this looks more like the rest of the stuff.
Get it together, Toy World.
I feel like the one thing that messes up, expectations with regard to this figure in connection with the silhouette are dem hips. Because it just don't look right. Something's going on between the hips and the thighs.
The hips don't lie, though.
I'm cool with those alt modes being trash. And I'm cool with the bot modes being trash. But that combined mode has got to be, as a certain crab-consuming Maryland-based Rivera would say, spot on. The combiner has got to be spot on.
Or the single modes have to be spot on.
Nah.
I think you're more likely to get that. I think you're more likely to get the single modes look good, but I don't have any faith in this thing being good since Zeta split off, and Zeta's been the one that's been designing all the good stuff.
This ain't Zeta.
I agree, it's not Zeta. So we should talk about those two things real quick. Do you think there's any possibility that this is one of the Zeta designs that got left over?
No.
What about you, Robert?
No.
Boog, you got an opinion?
Nope.
Lastly, do you think that we're overdue for a new Zeta tease?
Yeah.
I don't know. And the only reason I say that is, you've only got, how many of those aerial bots do we have? 2?
We have 2.
I don't think we're overdue, but I think we are due.
All right, I'll accept that. I think that it's about time that they start sneaking something else out. And at first it seemed crazy that they put out like 2 teases of 2 different combiners, the Bruticus and the Superion. But now that Bruticus is finished, I'm like hungry for more.
Are you feeling burned?
No.
Just hungry?
You're a funny guy.
Go get your shine box, Robert.
It's all smoke and mirrors, if you know what I'm saying. But Bruticus was a solid unit. And look, and while Bruticus Constructor and the Superion are shaping up well, I have a feeling that their Dinobot combiner, even though it's under the Zeta release with the chrome out, whatever, it really has nothing for me.
I got you.
How do you guys feel about the Bruticus? Now, you both have it, right? But you haven't put it together, Jisk?
I have not put it together.
Pretty much in line with what the community has already expressed, that it does not top or equal Constructor. However, it is still up there on the same level as Constructor.
But when you see this, what makes you think that this is going to be built along the same caliber? You're the only one that does. You're the one that said this is going to be a parts forming piece and blah, blah, blah.
It will be parts forming. Oh, I see where you're coming from. Because of the designers and the drivers, this could be based off of an early design of the Zeta designers and drivers, but they left, so they could be pooping out something pretty crap right now.
I must wonder if this is Toy World's attempt to kind of like, they're never going to make it, but they're throwing it out to tease it. And I bet you it'd be interesting if Zeta's next.
That's an interesting point as well.
I think if they put this out and it's not spot on to the same level as Zeta, it's going to ruin them.
They're done. I think that how skinny the waist is and how wide the hips stick out suggests to me that it's Razor Claw's waist and then Razor Claw's hips go out at a 90-degree angle and then angle back down at 90 degrees like we've seen so many times before. And
oh, right. I see
know
exactly
what I mean?
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, that's bad news, too.
Yeah, it's just,
man,
Toy World and Zeta have just shown us a better way.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. This is what I have to say about, like, anybody that's doing a masterpiece combiner. If it's not on the same level as, like, Zeta, just, like, it needs to be part formers. They figured it out. If you're not doing it that way, you're failing at it.
But I'll say this in the same breath. I don't know if any of these fans toys once are going to be parts formers.
No, and that actually bums me out a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll see what happens. I don't even care. That's kind of the thing about it. I could care less. I could care less if this thing, we never see another picture about it and nobody ever talks about it again. Like, I don't care. I don't need it. If your shadow looks like trash, like, don't even bother coming into the light.
Your shit.
That's what I gotta say.
Well, I like Predaking in general, so.
Why?
I don't know. I like animals.
Harambe. Bonobo.
You know what I want to see a picture of too is a lowrider truck called Suavecito.
Caribou reindeer blend coffee.
I want to see
like
Bobby
fall-
Skullface without the mask. Instead of immersion blender. I want to see a b-boy from the 80s named Ruben. Map of Los Angeles. Santa without the beard.
I want a photo of Bobby Skullface laying on a couch.
Yeah, I want to see a picture of Bobby at the beach with Nikes on.
And his freaking Paddington Bear hat on.
Robert, we have like 18 of those hats because every time we go anywhere that the sun is involved, he's like, I need a hat. I gotta go buy a hat. I'm like, we have like 20 of those hats. Well, I don't have it here, do I?
Why wouldn't you buy just a baseball hat? The fact that you buy that hat's a little weird to me.
Nah, you gotta cover up. You gotta cover up all of it. You can't just cover up.
360,
Yeah,
360, baby.
360 coverage. You can't just be letting the neck hang out and get burnt up. No. You hang out with all those skin legions. I'm gonna keep it moving.